supposed to look at you?
If you want to, if not, it doesn't matter.
Did you get you?
Yes. Alright. How many of you drink at least 1 cup of coffee a day? I know I certainly do, and so do many other Americans. In fact, according to Medical News Today, 64% of Americans drink at least 1 cup of coffee a day, if not 2. And those 64% of Americans are benefiting from the health benefits that coffee has to provide for us. Many of you probably grew up learning that coffee doesn't help our health, and in fact might have negative side effects against our health. But those past studies fail to account for the way alcohol and cigarettes affected their results. Now modern studies are showing that coffee actually provides us with many health benefits. Today I'm going to tell you what those are. Coffee helps your health in 3 main ways. It helps your liver health, your heart health, and your mental health. So first I'm going to start off telling you about how coffee helps your liver health. Coffee contains many helpful chemicals, one of which being paraxanthin. Now paraxanthin, when absorbed into the body, helps slow scar tissue growth. When scar tissue growth is stopped developing, it helps fight off liver cancer, fatty liver disease, and hepatitis C, according to WebMD. Now to put into perspective how many people suffer from a liver disease, 500 million people suffer from liver diseases worldwide. Of that, about 50 million Americans suffer. That's about 1 in 10 Americans who are suffering with a liver disease. And 30,000 Americans are diagnosed with liver cancer every single year. But coffee can help with that. Researchers in Italy found that drinking 1 cup of coffee a day can actually lower your risk of liver cancer by up to 40%. That means people who drink a cup of coffee are at a lower risk of getting liver cancer than those that don't. And that is how coffee can help with your liver health. Now let's talk about how it helps your heart health. Coffee has some amazing properties to it. 2 of which that I'm going to focus on right now is that coffee is an anti-inflammatory and coffee is an antioxidant. Both of those help when coffee helps your heart. Coffee actually reduces the risk of heart failure, stroke, and coronary heart disease, according to Time magazine. But it doesn't just stop there. Coffee also gives you cardiovascular benefits. It gives you the cardiovascular benefits of lowered blood pressure. And Medical News Today found that people who drank 1 cup of coffee a day had an 11% lower risk of heart failure than those that didn't drink any coffee at all. And that is how coffee helps your heart. Now let's talk about how coffee helps with mental health. Coffee is a psychostimulant. That means it increases wakefulness and motivation. When you drink a cup of coffee, an endorphin called dopamine is released into the body. When dopamine is released, it increases your sense of pleasure and your sense of motivation. So you drink a cup of coffee, dopamine is released. This is important when it comes to the mental health issue of depression. Depression is categorized and diagnosed as the inability to feel motivation and the inability to feel pleasure. So when you drink a cup of coffee, dopamine is released and it helps fight off depression. Now coffee is by no means a cure for depression, but it can help fight against depressive states. And in fact, Psychology Today said that 8% of people who drink a cup of coffee a day had a lowered risk of ever even developing depression to begin with. But it doesn't just help with depression. It also helps with a disease called Parkinson's disease. Now coffee helps in 2 ways. 1, it reduces the risk of ever getting to Parkinson's disease to begin with. So if you drink a cup of coffee a day, you're at a reduced risk to ever even develop the disease to begin with. But it also helps when fighting against Parkinson's disease. Science Daily did a little research where they took a bunch of people with Parkinson's disease and split the group in half. 50% were told to drink about 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day. The other 50% were told to drink absolutely no caffeine at all. After a while, they came back and looked at the results. The people that drank the coffee found an increase in less daily sleepiness, more movement, more motivation, and an overall less stiffness in all of their joints. And that is how coffee is going to help with depression and Parkinson's disease. So yes, drinking excessive amounts of coffee can have negative side effects, but a helpful 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day actually provides you with many health benefits. It helps you with your liver health, specifically with liver cancer, your heart health, specifically with heart failure, and your mental health, specifically with Parkinson's disease and depression. So now you guys know all about how coffee can help with your health. So the next time you go to drink a cup of coffee, just remember all of the health benefits that you're gaining for. Thank you guys so much for your time.
I got a question.
Yes.
Did the coffee companies give you a grant to go to college?
I wish. Yeah. Thank